Alexander Usyk smashes Joshua in what was a good effort from Joshua, but a masterclass from Usyk, kind of. Now we're going to be taking a look at some of the reasons why Joshua abandoned his body attack in the mid-rounds. And we're going to start off by looking at Usyk, looking at his lead hand control here. Okay. Number one, Joshua is going to be looking to slip inside and find this body shot, but notice how their positions mirror each other. They both have to be kind of on the front foot because of the open stance, the southpaw versus orthodox matchup. And they both have to wind up putting their weight on the front foot to kind of reach the other person. And I want you to pay attention to how both of them make it to this position, but neither one of them did anything with their rear hand. Okay, so Joshua has to make it in this position, and this is the position that Usyk's trying to get into, not only to circle, but to set up his straight left hand to the head off of his kind of double jab-like motion. Okay, next clip, again, Joshua is going to be pull countering, boom, body shot, head shot, beautiful execution, getting under the shot, and then finding this punch. Now, one thing I want to point out is that Alexander Usyk likes to control and fight with his left hand much more than, or his right hand, much more than he fights with his left hand, controlling space with the jab, not really probing all of that much and controlling space with his rear hand, usually saving it to land a big shot. Okay, so as we continue to move through, again, a lot of body shot targeting from Anthony Joshua. Oops, that clip's not going to play. A lot of body shot targeting from Joshua, but off of this kind of lead hand control here, pushing Joshua off his line, but setting him up for these pull counter like motions. Again, Joshua getting very comfortable fighting off of the lead hand that Usyk is using, because Usyk is only using the lead hand, and then not using the rear hand to control Joshua and stop him and intercept him when he moves into his line to counter punch, as you say, with these pull counter like motions. Again, an excellent effort from Joshua, but mostly a misstep on Usyk's part, as we're going to see again, Usyk getting to the line, trying to control it with his left hand so that maybe he can set something up, or rather with his right hand so he can set something up with his left hand. But Joshua doing a great job of controlling it. Now, instead of controlling it with the pull counter, controlling it by touching his glove here and using that timing to intercept him here. As again, he makes his way toward the front foot. But again, because he doesn't usually use his straight left hand to control space, Joshua's not really worried about moving into this position. It's the same one he would have moved into if he had pull countered this jab and thrown a right hand to Usyk's body. Now, again, Joshua fighting off of the left hand. Even though he misses his opportunity to intercept Usyk this time, he eats this shot. He's going to see this kind of left hook, and notice his weight is going to kind of shift down toward his back foot, and then again, moving into the body shot and attacking Usyk. Again, getting very comfortable fighting off of Usyk's, I keep saying his left hand, but fighting off of Usyk's right hand, fighting off of Usyk's control of with his lead hand. And then again, by the end of the second round, we're seeing Joshua getting really comfortable timing that jab and timing that rhythm forward as he tries to set up here yet another pull counter, and then crossing Usyk's line there. Now, Usyk's not a fish out of water. It's not his first rodeo, but as we can see, Joshua's getting more and more comfortable fighting around Usyk's jab. Notice all of these moves are meant to get Joshua around Usyk's lead hand. Boom, boom. And, really pressuring him and really putting a lot of pressure on him toward the beginning of the third round as he continues to land shots and land body shots. And as we saw in that last clip, find a way to use the control of the space that he has to start landing shots to the head like you're supposed to. Now, again, Usyk leaning to this front foot position, not usually controlling space with his rear hand, not trying to catch punches, not trying to disrupt his opponent's line with the probes. He's trying to kind of similarly play the same game that Joshua was playing, where he slips around and plays around the lead hand, except Joshua has the reach advantage. So Usyk's going to be at a disadvantage in this position, going position for position with Joshua, simply because he doesn't have the height and reach advantage. And Joshua can get away with using what I'm going to call lower level skills because he has advantages in other areas. Now, again, Usyk is slipping toward the front foot, and notice again, there's no rear hand. There's nothing to stop Joshua from feeling comfortable or uncomfortable moving into this position and attacking Joshua. Now, again, as he continues to move around, slipping this way, Joshua getting more and more brazen with the types of attacks he's going to look to intercept Usyk on the front foot with, even going so far as using this lead uppercut, right, from the back foot all the way from Narnia, where he could be hit with any punch, literally anything. But again, he's not afraid of Usyk getting to the front foot because he knows Usyk is looking to control the space and come in behind his right hand, not coming in behind his left hand. However, Joshua's going to be making that same move, trying to control Usyk on the front foot, and in this moment, Usyk makes an adjustment and lands an excellent straight left hand, allowing himself to get to that front foot and start controlling a little bit of space between him and Joshua. Now again, pulling off the line, and this is another one of those things that was happening. Notice Usyk penduluming on his own line. Joshua was trying to follow him back here, and Usyk is paying attention to the rhythm. This is how comfortable Joshua was getting, chasing Usyk around. And now, again, starting to use that lead left hand and push Joshua off his line, not allow him to intercept him as he makes it his weight to the front foot here, finding a way to isolate Joshua from feeling safe in that position. And then again, as we get a little bit more towards the end of the third round, more punches coming from Usyk here, more probes from the rear hand from Usyk, pushing Joshua off the line. And then again, he's going to throw a lead hand there, but much more boxing-like stuff here, much more control of the space here, much more probing here, and that's going to give much more space to the fighter like Usyk, someone who actually needs it to set their stuff up. And then we wind up here at the end of the third round, and now all of a sudden, all that pressure that Joshua was putting on him, weaving and slipping and rolling under his line and throwing those body shots, all the space has been taken away. Now they're at this long distance because Joshua doesn't know if it's going to be a jab. He doesn't know if it's going to be a rear hand cross. And now he's getting controlled. And Usyk can now feel kind of more free controlling with the left hand there, or the right hand there. Slipping to his front foot here, making it to position one because now there's no body shot. Even though this is the same move that Joshua would pull counter earlier, there's no punch because he's opened up a little bit of space with his rear hand. And now he can get to that control with the one, throw the two. Is there any counters? Nothing? You okay? You sure? Asking him again, controlling the space. He's feeling more comfortable getting his weight to the front foot. No pull counters coming. Coming in with the one, and then the two, and then even coming back with the kind of three or the right cross. Again, he's throwing it against a really tall opponent, so it's hard to make it as round as it should be if it's going to be a hook. But using his probes to open up space on the line to keep Joshua thinking, keep Joshua out of position, to allow him to use his advantages, which are his footwork and his hand speed, so that he can do things like close the distance as he's pushing his opponent out of position and hit him with multiple punches. Now, this pattern happened again later on in the fight. I think Joshua had a really good 9th or 10th round. I think maybe it was the 9th round, and then again in the very next round, Usyk began getting back to his lead hand control, or his rear hand control, and getting his rear hand probes into Joshua's face. Started hitting him with some big shots because now Joshua wasn't just being susceptible to the probe, but he was there for the power as well. So when Usyk turned it over a little bit, he was able to add a lot of power to that shot as well. And again, stifling Joshua's confidence in being able to land his body shots. Now, if we think back again at the beginning clip when we talk about Joshua moving to the front foot, Joshua moving around the line, and that one clip where I'm showing him weaving and slipping and playing with Usyk's jab, notice that he doesn't play any of those games that Usyk plays off of his jab, trying to land the straight left hand to the body, right? Slipping it when you make it to the front foot, landing the shot to the body, or he's also not probing with the rear hand when he makes it to those positions. He's also not probing with the lead hand when he makes it to the back foot, like Usyk has to do in order to make sure he has enough space to not get hit. So it's interesting that, you know, obviously like people want to say Joshua did a really good job, but they're not realizing that Joshua didn't have to fight at a super high level in this fight because his opponent to look good, because his opponent is so much smaller and enjoys so many more disadvantages in the reach and the height, that it makes it easier for Joshua to control the line simply because he's bigger. Okay? What people are not saying is that Usyk fought an absolutely excellent fight and deserves very likely to be recognized as pound for pound #1 fighter in the world. It was a beautiful performance. He did make a lot of great adjustments, do a lot of great things. My only criticism is that he would lose some of these adjustments as the fight went on, and instead of being able to fight from both positions, right, and control the space with both hands, after he would create enough space that he could get back to that kind of rhythm that he wants to get into, because he's more rhythm-like, jumping in, right? He wants to get to that pace. He doesn't like fighting here where his probes are more effective, but he likes fighting at the pace where he can jump in, control, jump, and kind of pendulum into these shots. And it gets a little bit predictable. And there's more film on Alexander Usyk. The more people study him, the more people are going to figure that stuff out. And he's going to have to continue to develop working on his right side, or rather working on the right side of the line. And again, he had a couple of good hooks in this fight, a couple of good times where he was able to come back, but Usyk mostly a straight punch fighter, right? Very much like Loma. They have good hooks, like good-ish, right? But they're not super huge power punchers, him or Loma. They're mostly straight punch artists, which makes a lot of sense why they don't throw a lot of rear hand probes, even though I think Loma throws a few more than Usyk. But if you're always saving your missile, right, as one Ukrainian put it, Dr. Steelhammer, I think he's Ukrainian. I don't know. God, don't murder me, guys. Ugh. Anyway, yeah, it was a great performance from Joshua. We're going to be watching the full fight on Patreon later today. If you guys want to check out Patreon, it's film studies like this, but it's going to be going over the whole fight. There's film studies from every week from all the major fights, as many as I can get to. It's $10 to sign up, $10 a month. Or if you want someone to go over your film, your shadow boxing, heavy bag work, your double and bag work, your sparring, your shadow boxing, and you want someone to teach you how to get better, how to better use these tools to develop more skills, more athleticism, more speed, more power, check out my $50 coaching Patreon. When you send in videos, I send in critiques, and I will teach you how to get better. And it's all up to you how much you want to be sending in. I have people that send in videos every day that want to be very studious about their work. And the other thing is, everyone does that in the beginning. Everyone's super motivated to send in stuff, and then everyone gets to this point where they get to their technique and they realize that it's not going to be easy. There's never a point when you're done sending work in. Okay, people get a little bit defeated about that because there's always ways to grow and to continue to perform. But once people realize that it's not just the mental part, it's not just knowing, but it's training your body to be able to do it quickly, people get a little bit discouraged. But if that's not you, if you're not someone who's going to get discouraged by a lot of work, a lot of growth, I can make you the fighter you want to be. I can make you the fighter that you think you should be. Okay, so check out my Patreon. Also I got a lot of cool things coming out. I've got a couple of dynamic striking programs coming out. Some really cool stuff. One for shadow boxing and building athleticism. And then another one for power punching with a very cool and interesting, unique name. That one's still a few weeks away. It's almost done, but I'm very excited about that kind of stuff. So if you stayed this long to see, you're a super fan, you're going to be really interested in that stuff. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like, comment, and subscribe, and blah, 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 blah. God, I hate saying that shit. I know you guys don't want to hear it.